All right, so today we're heading to Amsterdam, the undisputed cycling capital of the world. But forget the picturesque canals and the tulip fields for a minute. We're here to dive into a truly bizarre, citywide caper that turned the daily commute completely on its head. And it became something, well, something else entirely. Something a lot of people found surprisingly pleasant. So just picture this for a second. You wake up, you're getting ready for your morning ride to work, and your bike seat is gone. And not just yours. Every single one in the entire city has vanished. I mean, what do you even do? That's the insane reality at the very heart of this story. A problem that forced an entire city to get creative in a way nobody, and I mean nobody, saw coming. So who would do something like this? Get this. It was a rogue group of pro-car activists. They called themselves the Asphalt Avengers, and their motive wasn't money. It was a protest. They wanted to make cyclists feel the burn, to really understand what they thought drivers go through every day. They took the idea of road rage to a whole new, literal level. And of course, the media had a field day. They quickly dubbed the whole thing Operation Bare Bottom Blitz. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So under the cover of darkness, these guys set out to basically grind the gears of the most bike-friendly city on the planet, creating chaos one little bolt at a time. Okay, so let's just quickly break down the heist itself. The who, the Asphalt Avengers. The what? A massive, perfectly coordinated theft of pretty much every bike seat in the city. They had bolt cutters, a fleet of vans, the whole shebang. And their goal was simple. Just bring all of Amsterdam's bike traffic to a very painful, very sudden stop.
Now, the immediate aftermath, it was exactly what you'd think. Just chaos, super uncomfortable for everyone. But then something really, really weird started to happen. This whole story took a sharp turn, away from pure agony and towards, well, a very different kind of feeling. And at first, the physical toll was rough. I mean, emergency rooms reported a 400% spike in what doctors were actually calling tubular trauma. Yeah, we are talking about bruised egos and, let's be honest, some very sore behinds all across the city. You'd have to say, the Avengers plan, it looked like it was working perfectly. But then, the most incredible thing happened. The whole public vibe just shifted. What started out feeling like some kind of medieval torture device, well, it started to change. First, there were whispers of the tingle. Then people started talking about this weird endorphin rush. It's like they discovered that the supposed torture was actually some kind of cheat code to happiness. And this quote from a tech entrepreneur, a guy named Sven Cyclewiz, it just sums it all up perfectly. He went from thinking he'd need a lawyer and a chiropractor to actively looking for excuses to spend more time on his bike. The pain had completely flipped into this really peculiar kind of pleasure. And you know how these things go. This little personal discovery, it did not stay personal for long. Oh no, it absolutely exploded. It became a full-blown cultural thing, and it got its own name, its own hashtag, the whole deal. The hashtag tube riding trend. And the city just adapted at this incredible speed. All of a sudden, you had viral social media trends popping up everywhere. Fitness apps were adding a, I kid you not, stimulation score. The local economy even jumped in. I mean, street vendors started selling Seamus cream right next to the stroopwafels. That's when you know it's a real thing, right? Okay, so you know the saying, every action has a reaction, and this massive cultural shift, well, it had some huge, completely unintended economic side effects. Because while all the cyclists were embracing their new reality, the city's bike shops were about to walk right into a crisis. So in a total panic, a classic case of misreading supply and demand, the shops ordered, wait for it, 1.2 million replacement seats, a staggering number. They saw a city in what they thought was desperate need, and they geared up for what they were calling the seat apocalypse boom. And how many of those seats did they actually sell? Zero. A big fat goose egg. The massive demand they were counting on just never showed up. Not one person wanted to trade in their newfound experience. Like this one industry analyst, Peter Cushing, put it, the boom they were all expecting turned into a glut gloom. Suddenly, warehouses were just packed with useless seats, and all the bike shops were left holding the bag. Nothing but inventory and a whole lot of regret. Which brings us to the last part of this story, and honestly, maybe the most fascinating part of all. What was going on in everyone's heads, the city's collective psychology? Because even though people were clearly enjoying this new trend, nobody, and I mean nobody, wanted to admit it out loud. The excuses people came up with were just incredible. You had this one guy, Carell, an accountant, who seriously claimed his seat was repossessed by elves, tiny elves with Dutch accents. Yeah, totally logical. And it didn't stop there. Then you've got Mia, a total fitness fanatic. Her story? She made a pact with the universe. Oh no, it wasn't for pleasure. It was, you see, cosmic penance because she'd lost her AirPods. Of course. And this one might be my favorite. Tomas, the quintessential tech bro. He swore up and down he wasn't enjoying it. No. He was beta testing a revolutionary haptic feedback prototype. It wasn't a bike ride, it was a data transfer straight to his core processors. Right. This got so widespread that psychologists actually gave it a name, the Great Dutch Dodge. They defined it as this collective coping mechanism, where a whole city just invents these wild, unbelievable stories to justify something they're all secretly enjoying. It was basically repression meeting recreation, right there on the cobblestone streets.
But, as one therapist, Dr. Elsa Endorphin, pointed out, they weren't fooling anyone. The truth was pretty obvious. You can't just fake an entire city rerouting their commutes for scenic detours, or explain away that sudden citywide glow. The body doesn't lie, even when the entire population of Amsterdam is giving it their best shot.
So think about it. A prank that was designed to punish cyclists accidentally creates a city full of happier, more stimulated people who are all just living in this state of blissful denial. Which really just leaves us with one last question to chew on. In a city that's famous for being so direct and straightforward, is just admitting the simple, awkward truth the bumpiest ride of them all?